Welcome, students. I'm going to jump right in here and start talking to you about conversions. So we are in chapter 1.11 and it's converting units. Okay, this is the idea of how do you convert, inches to yards or grams to kilograms or, pints to gallons or something like that. Okay, have you ever had these kind of questions before in school where they ask you to make conversions and you say, oh, okay, well, I think I can figure out how to make something from bigger to smaller, but I get kind of lost when I'm trying to figure out how to make it from smaller to bigger. And so what I came up with is kind of a chart system that I think is really helpful. It works every single time. If you follow my chart, you'll get it right every single time when you're converting units of measurement. And so as I was thinking about it, I came up with this chart here. So what I think would be a good idea for you to do is just to go ahead and copy my charts here. I've got one on the left here, and you can pause the video and then copy and then turn it back on and listen. But anytime that you are converting smaller units to larger units, you're going to divide. Okay, that is what you're going to do, is you're going to divide. So so it's important that you kind of have this division symbol here and make sure that you have that. So anytime you're going to go from smaller to larger, you're going to divide. So let me give you a possible question. What if they gave you here, this one here, they said 120 seconds is how many minutes? Okay. If they say, well, how many minutes are in 120 seconds? Well, and first you got to think, okay, what's the smaller unit? Seconds is smaller than minutes. Okay, I'm going from smaller to larger. I'm converting from smaller to larger. So there it is, 120 seconds. I keep that the smaller, everything that's the smaller, I'm going to keep on this side of my line here. And everything that's larger is on this side. So they're asking how many minutes it is, okay? So the next thing you do is, well, you ask yourself, well, 1 minute is how many seconds? Okay, I'm keeping minutes again on this right side here. How many seconds? Well, it's 60 seconds. Okay, and so my little key here says that when I'm going from smaller to larger, I divide. So what are the numbers that I would divide? So if you look at these four things in these four box squares here, or boxes here, which two am I going to divide into each other? Okay, well, you can't divide this. This is the question. And one word is every time, just remember, you're never going to divide one. Okay, so what's left is these two. Okay, so if I take 120 seconds and divide it by 60, I get 2, goes into it twice, and that's my answer. 120 seconds converts to 2 minutes. And that's the formula. Okay, so that's how you convert smaller units to larger. Let's do it again, another illustration, okay? Um, Going from smaller to larger. Again, we divide here. It's really important to remember that when you go from small to large. One way that might help you to remember this is anytime that the first term is smaller, anytime you're making, if it's that first one smaller, okay? When you make something smaller, you divide it up, okay? If I go from larger to smaller, the first term is larger. When you multiply something, you're making it larger, okay? That'll be the rule. So if they gave you 100 or 36 inches here, and they ask you how many feet is that? Okay, inches is smaller, feet is bigger. I got the question mark. Okay, how many feet? Okay, well, first thing I got to do is figure out, well, what is one of these? Okay, well, 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, some student might ask, well, why didn't you start with 1 inch? Is how many feet? Well, you can't, because inches are, 1 inch is not any feet. It's 1/12 of a foot. Okay, so 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, my rule says I divide. Look at my four boxes here. What am I going to divide? Well, I'm not going to divide this one. Okay, this one here I'm not going to divide. Okay, I told you the rule of one. You never divide into one. Okay, so what's left is these two things here. If I divide 36 by 12, it goes into it 3 times, and that becomes my answer. 36 inches equals 3 feet. Okay, so that's the rule of going from smaller to larger. Now, When we're going the opposite direction, making conversions, okay, from larger to smaller, okay, larger to smaller units, okay. First, the word larger, when you're making something larger, it's the first term I got here. You're going to multiply it, and that is what we do. We multiply. That's the rule. So if they gave you 3 yards and they ask you how many feet that is, how many feet are in 3 yards? If they said, well, yards are bigger than feet. So I'm going from larger to smaller. 1 yard equals how many feet? It's 3 feet. Okay. And I filled in my 4 boxes now. I can eliminate this one. I can cross out this one. What's left? I've got these two here, okay? And the rule is to multiply, okay? 3 times 3 is 9. There's my answer. 3 yards equals 9 feet. This will work every single time. It'll get you the right answer. Let me give you one last example of going from larger to smaller. If they said 5 kilograms, this is kilograms, kg here, is how many grams? Okay. Now here's a little clue that you can do in your homework, and you can also do it when you're taking a test. At this point, if I go kilograms to grams, I have no idea how many grams or kilograms. Go to Google on your phone and type it in, kilograms to grams, and you'll find out that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Okay, so the one of this equals 1,000 of this. Okay, and then so I filled in my 4 boxes, and I know I'm not going to do anything with this box. I'm not going to do anything with the one box. The only thing I have left are these 2 boxes. And the rule, when I go from larger, remember we times, from larger to smaller we times. So 5 times 1,000, here it is right here, is 5,000 grams. And there's my answer. 5 kilograms equals 5,000 grams. Okay, so that is how you make conversions, and my chart system will work for you every single time.